Hi, I'm Josh, and this is Wender. Today I'm going to show you my favorite trick in Wender, which is how to design multiple screens in the same app super easily and super quickly. So let's start over here. I'm going to choose one of my presets, and that's a modern recipe app. And so we'll just click on that. We'll just use the default prompt because we just want something to start. So this is going to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And as you can see, the tokens are starting to stream in, so it will design a recipe app. We can see a preview of it in our modal here. The preview won't perfectly match what the final result will be, but it gives us a good idea of the tokens that are streaming in and what they're doing. There will be some final styling before it hits the artboard, but again, it's a good preview of what's happening in the background here. So we can see that we have our recipe app, we have a featured recipe up here, and there we go. We have our grid of recipes down here. Let's make the screen a little taller so that we can see everything. So it's looking pretty good. I like the way this looks. Now, there's no reason that I couldn't, chat to change everything. Maybe I want to change the colors or change the look of it or change the layout. Let's assume that I like this and I want to see another screen. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to hit the duplicate button. This is the best feature in Wender. You can just duplicate your artboard and then try something else. And that encourages you to try lots of different ideas and explore. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change how much do you want to change. I'm going to change this to a lot because I want to change the entire screen design. Now, the thing to understand about LLMs and how AI works is that all of this that it's done is now in its context window. It fully understands the screen that we just made together. And so I'm going to use that to design next screen with only a few words. So I am going to now say, show the discover, if I could type here, tab of this app. And so that's the trick, is that you can just use the sort of input that you've generated so far to generate the next screen in a flow. And this is super powerful because I think that cold start thing in design is definitely the hardest for me. It's hard to imagine, like, well, what is the base level, like, first draft of this screen? In this case, what would a Discover screen have, what it would look like? And, in a real world scenario, I'm not just going to take what the AI gives me and then, just run that to code and build an application on it. I am going to play with it, and I'm going to think about the features that my users want and how to solve the problem of my users. But I do find that getting through that, like, blank page and that rough draft stage as a product manager and a designer, this just, like, helps me a ton think about the problem space and explore it a little bit more. So you can see now, by just typing that, like, I've gone from the home page to the Discover page. Now I have 2 pages of my app designed so super quickly. And one final trick is to actually change the model when you're doing this, especially if it's a simple screen. So let's assume that the saved screen, for instance, is going to be a fairly simple screen. I imagine it'll just be a list of recipes that are saved. And so let's change the model to Gemini 2.5 Flash. I don't love designing with Gemini 2.5 Flash from, like, the ground up. I don't think that it does a great job. It's better than most. But one place it really shines is if it already has a design in its context window, it's going to use that and go super fast, which I really like. It's a lot faster than Claude. And so let's say design the saved tab of this app. So again, just going to use that trick of passing in the current screen and then asking it to completely redesign it based on the next screen in the flow. So in this case, the saved tab was the next one. And we should see this goes really fast because it's 2.5 Flash and it's Gemini. Look how fast that was. That was just so super fast. And Flashes, these Gemini Flash models are so great at exploring your ideas because you don't have to sit there and wait 3 minutes for it to generate a design. So if you have a lot more opinions and you want to just explore more and change stuff and change your icons, change your colors, the Gemini 2.5 Flash can't be beat for that as of today. So that's my trick. Look at how you can, really quickly start to think through the flow of an application, your user experience, the kind of features that you want with just a few words in Wonder. So, all right, I'll let you give it a shot. Thanks.